Hey, what's up, you guys? So it is Comicon Africa weekend, and I'm hoping that you are having a rollicking time there from the comfort of your couch or chair, as is the case with my next guest, my man Jonah. Jonah, how are you doing?
How's it doing, guys? I'm doing pretty well. No complaints, man. How about you, man?
Okay, so Jonah, you are one of the participants in the Project Springbok challenge, right? So basically, for those of you who don't know, my friends from Project Springbok are looking for developers. They are looking for brain kids out there to create new and exciting content, such as the project you are working through Nexus Blitz. Now, I'm hoping I didn't butcher that because I practiced like 10 times. Did I get that right?
Yeah, made quite an interesting tongue twister for my name.
Jonah, tell us a little bit about yourself.
All right, cool. So I'm a third-year college student, personally right now studying at the Open Window Institute. Currently am studying game development and game design, so I work more into the technical side of things rather than the artistic side. So yeah, I'm quite a laid-back, chilled guy. I work a lot during holidays in retail. I do a lot of retail and management. So yeah, I'm quite a busy guy.
My man. Okay, but now you know what, John. John, I gotta get into some of the more, I'm gonna say, tough questions here, right? These are the kind of things that shape destinies, specifically yours, because you're participating in this massive challenge, right? So tell us about your project. You have birthed this brain baby, as it were. I want to know more about it. I want my friends out there to know more about it. Platform's all yours.
All right, cool. So Settler was actually quite an interesting project that I thought about during the December holiday as I was driving around Ivory Park in Tembisa. So I was driving around and I thought, how could I create something that could show what's happening in these areas to people who don't know what's actually going on? So I thought of an idea of Settler, and at first it was going to be like a third-person game where you sort of walk around the township area, sort of explore and just create a narrative that sort of speaks about how people sort of live in this environment, how people get by. We're South Africans, we make a plan with anything. So
Damn straight.
Exactly. How does one tell the story of, what's happening in the townships? How can I get the whole world to know? So not just from a South African context, but then I also wanted something that, as soon as anyone sees a game, immediately, that's South African. That's 100% South African. So sort of getting that aesthetic going. But in a way that is sort of fun, entertaining, engaging, and, worthwhile playing. Nobody wants a little boring experience. So throughout the course of the year, my team and 3 other people, so obviously 3 other people and myself, my team, we worked together on creating this project. And right now we are a really good alpha prototype state where we have the good dialogue system, we have basic missions, and so yeah, we got sort of the bare basic mechanics down, and we just added a bit of polish to get a really nice alpha release.
So okay, you know what, guys, I want to help you out right now. We have some test footage of the game over here, so you can have a look, and then we're going to pick it up with Jonah in a second after this. Here we go. And we are back. Okay, so now we have a slightly better understanding of where we're going and what we're doing here. And my man, you know what? I gotta ask you, what shaped you over here? How did you arrive at this particular world view for the world that you are making us view?
So it's quite an interesting question. So but obviously games is a form of escapism and sort of going out of your world, out of your personal life. This game is a lot made for the purpose of us normal, very privileged people who don't know what's going on there. So I thought of it in a way that how can I get people to sort of escape their privileged world and see what's the other side of the scale that maybe people really don't know about. So I'm trying to do it in sort of a way, I wouldn't say expose the township life in a safer manner, but sort of in a way that people can engage with a lot more comfortably. Townships have quite a negative connotations with this. Something's going to happen to them. So sort of taking people, privileged people, putting them in this context where they can sort of experience, this place and do things that they wouldn't be able to do otherwise in real life.
Of course, like just, for the benefit of you guys out there, just for us to schedule this particular conversation, we had to bridge the gap between, load shedding and then bridge the gap now between like all the other drama that goes on over here that's uniquely South African. So what I like about it as well is that In a way, from again, just from the footage that we've seen so far, what you created is a space where you pay respect to life here in South Africa, but at the same time now, like there's things that are decidedly South African where you in a way are taking the Mickey out of it as well. So that adds to the entertainment value of it over there. So I gotta say, you're a sly guy, my man. You're a sly guy. But I mean, I guess that's the thing with any form of art, because what you're doing is, it's entertainment, but it's also a form of art, because you're basically doing something that would not only entertain, but also evoke a sense of emotion, especially with, the way some of the missions and whatnot are structured. It makes you think that, yeah, okay, so somebody actually somewhere out there right now, there's somebody who is living this reality, which I think is an important thing, like to really consider when you look at it,
Exactly.
No, I love it, man. I love it. But now, stepping away from the project itself and talking more about you now as a developer, as a creator, as an artist, as it were, here in the South African context, we don't really think of, again, maybe it's a generational thing, but when I think back to the glory days of when I was choosing subjects of what I'm going to do when I grow up and all of that stuff over there, game developer, game designer wasn't something that you do. You'd become a doctor, a lawyer, an accountant, or something like that. It was very much geared into, you need to get out of here and get a job. But whereas over here, you're like, what, I'm going to actually create my own wealth by creating worlds, and that's part of what the whole Project Springbok initiative is, to find young creators, and give them that platform. But development as a whole, what sort of challenges, do you as a creator experience?
We obviously in game development in South Africa, it's still an incredibly new topic. So, when it comes to that, the circle is very small. So, you have your, you're a lot more personal with the people around you, in terms of South Africa, we have a group called SA Game Jams where, pretty much most of the developers in South Africa sit on that thing, and then we sort of chat and share resources, share opportunities. If someone's working on a project, you can just drop it there, someone's going to grab onto it. So yeah, it's not this sort of open thing like as you explained with lawyers and accountants, which is sort of people like, okay, I just need to make money, I want to get a job. But having this new sort of thing that we're working with, once again, lawyers, accountants, they've been around forever, but now game development is such a new art. There's very little theory about it. There's very little information sort of about it. Everyone's still sort of figuring out what's going on. So yeah, I would say the challenge is sort of just figuring out, it's more so experimenting. I would say the challenge, just finding out what works, how, especially in South Africa, there's not a lot of games that people can say, it's a South African game or something like that. So in terms of this country, yeah, very small community, you almost know everyone knows you, sort of one of those things. So, it almost works on a, word to mouth basis on the person when you are doing something. So yeah, that's pretty much how the game community is in South Africa.
Mental process of doing it. I mean, when it comes to just things that we have, challenges that we have over here, we have infrastructure limitations, we have resource limitations, we have, just access restrictions. Because when I think about the price of, I'm into collecting, and when I think about how restrictive our currency is, in terms of accessing my things, I can't imagine what it's like to, actually bypass some of the hurdles that come with accessing the equipment and stuff that you might need, to actually do what you do. Is that a real challenge, or am I just being paranoid?
In terms of, like you just mentioned, you pretty much hit the nail on the head, currency. Our currency is quite weak. Right now, I looked at the other day on the dollar to the RTX 30 series card, and then I just saw the prices on the website now, and I was like, the jump is insane. So things are quite expensive in terms of actually equipment buy. So you really got to sort of, once you find something, build big so that it can last you a while. So yeah, I think in terms of accessing on the actual technologies itself, it's not too limiting if you actually, sort of import it yourself, but it does cost quite a bit. So I think in terms of cost, it's a lot more higher. Look, I could just not be looking in the right perspective, but I think in terms of cost, it's a lot more higher in this country than it would be in many other places, especially the States.
Again, looking at your project and looking at, I'm always about entertainment needs to have two elements to it. It needs to obviously create that escapism for you. But at the same time, if you can learn about something, while you're at it, that's wonderful. And your project does exactly that. It's
exactly that.
Entertaining, it's entertaining, it's immersive. But at the same time now, at a very you know, like at a base level, it also, you know, informs you about like what's actually going on there. So, you know, kudos to you, my brother. Kudos to you.
Exactly. That was the whole point of the project, was to create sort of this, sort of informing everyone else, sort of the whole basis of this project, and then it's sort of expanded from there, which is quite cool.
So at this point over here, I have taken off my cap and I'm putting it out over here to the masses here at Comicon Africa, so they can throw out a little something to you over there. Talk to my people out there. Tell them, where do they find you? What do you need? And what does the future hold for Nexus Blitz?
I mean, well, I'm in college. I'm in college. I'm in third year. Next year I'm doing my honors. So I mean, it's still taking one step at a time. So to be completely honest, I don't have an overall goal as of yet. So yeah, it's kind of just one step at a time at the moment. I haven't really thought of this big picture yet. I mean, I didn't even realize this was even going to be a thing. It took me quite by surprise, actually. So yeah, literally, one step at a time. So yeah, third year I'm done, and then next year is honors, and then I'm going to be hopping into the real world either next year as part-time, and then the following time after that. In terms of that, my games, they pretty much so far post my games on itch.io/Nexus X Blitz as well. You can find me also on Twitter. I post a few little things whenever I'm working on projects, some cool prototypes and stuff like that. So I sort of just posted out how I did it. On my YouTube channel, I generally post, like when I make games, I do a whole time lapse from, you know, literally writing everything down on my board all the way to the finished product. I normally do that with Game Jams, so you guys can catch me there as well. And that's pretty much most of the places that I actually post by.
You, my brother, I love your concept. I wish you everything of the best. You're a star, and keep doing your thing, my man. Keep doing your thing.
So thank you. I really appreciate it.